Hi everyone. Welcome to Dialogue between Chinese and English Classics. My name is Joan.
I am James.
Today our topic is having a date with the moon. The shiny moon has sparked the imaginations of poets and writers for centuries. Its luminous changing face has long been a firm favorite with people all over the world. It is one of the most used imageries in world literature, representing everything from unrequited love to realization of approaching old age, from motherhood to homesickness. In China, there are two important traditional festivals related to the moon.
Yes, one is Mid-Autumn Festival, the other is Lantern Festival.
Yes, for Chinese people, these festivals are not only the time to enjoy the glorious moon and mooncakes, but also the time to compose and recite poetry. The moon speaks of my mind. The moon imagery is the bearer of human emotions. In this unit, we'll explore the depths of mythology and culture to explain why people often relate the moon with women. We'll also start the different symbolic meaning of the moon imagery by reading Chinese and English classic literary works. We'll talk about the moon imagery from 5 aspects. First, moon imagery in mythologies. Second, symbolic meaning of moon imagery, beauty and love. Third meaning, homesickness. The fourth symbolic meaning, impermanence of life. The fifth, insanity and irrationality. In China, when we adore a perfect woman or unrequited love, we often refer her as White Moonlight.
Joan, I have a question. Why have women long been associated with the moon?
Yes, first is because the moon has enormous power to control the ocean tides and the cycles in women's bodies. The second is that we have the binary thinking that has placed the moon secondary in majesty to the sun throughout history. The sun and the moon have been used to denote opposite signs for a long time. There are perfect examples of opposite duality, of yang and yin. Have you ever heard about yang and yin in China?
I think so, yes. I think yang means masculine and yin means feminine.
Yes. The sun denotes yang, which symbolizes masculinity, dominance, aggressiveness, and light, while the moon denotes yin, which symbolizes femininity, submissiveness, passiveness, and darkness. The moon is a goddess both in Chinese and Western mythology. The goddess Chang'e flying to the moon is a well-known Chinese folklore. Have you ever heard about this story?
Yes. According to the legend, there were once 10 suns high above in the sky, drying rivers and lakes, bringing about starvation. The brave hero Hou Yi shot down 9 suns and saved his people. He was rewarded with an elixir of immortality. By taking it, one would fly to heaven and become immortal. Unwilling to leave his beautiful wife, Chang'e, he handed the elixir to her, who hid it in a box. Unexpectedly, it was seen by an evil man, Peng Meng, who was Yi's student at the time. One day, when Yi was out hunting, Peng Meng broke into Chang'e's room and forced her to hand over the elixir. Chang'e picked up the elixir and swallowed it in a hurry. Immediately, she started to float into the sky toward the moon.
Yes. Returning home at night, Chang'e's husband Hou Yi was so sad that he called out the name of his wife. To his surprise, he found that the moon was especially clear and bright, and on it there was a swaying salute similar to that of his wife. He put some fruits on the table and held a memorial ceremony for his wife under the moon. So hearing of the news, His countrymen followed his suit, praying the couple would reunion someday. That's the custom of worshipping the moon and anticipating for a family reunion on the mid-autumn day has been widespread. So this is the Chinese myth. I think you also have the kind of myth in the West.
Yes, Joan. In ancient Greek mythology, we have Artemis, goddess of the moon. In Roman mythology, we call her Diana. Artemis is the daughter of Zeus and Apollo's twin sister. She is a virgin goddess. She is an excellent archer, and the crescent moon is her bow. She is a huntress archetype, woodland goddess, and the protector of young girls and animals.
Yes, that's the mythologies in ancient China and ancient Greek. The moon is envisaged as a female, which inspired poems on the theme of her gaze as she looks down on earth benignly. No wonder that the moon has stimulated some incredible literature way back in antiquity. The Moon Rises in the book Songs is the first Chinese poem compares beautiful woman as the shining moon. The Book of Songs is the earliest anthology of the poetry in China. Have you ever heard about that?
Yes. It is one of the fountains of Chinese literature. It covers a total of 311 poems, written over a period of nearly 500 years, starting from the 11th to the 6th centuries BC. It was called 300 Poems at the very beginning. The great thinker Confucius used it as a textbook to teach his disciples. It was named the Book of Songs after the Han Dynasty. It has a history of 2,500 years.
Yes, most of the poems are about farming activities. They were anonymous, collected by royal officials from among ordinary people as folk songs and ballads. The book is also closely related to ancient musical activities and dancing. So some take it as the first written musical book of ancient China. The songs falls into 3 sections. Do you know about that?
Yes. Firstly is Feng. Secondly is Ya. And thirdly is Song.
Yes, that's correct. Feng, poems or folk songs from 15 states, which made up the best part of the book Songs, while Ya, oaths of the kingdoms and of the nobilities. Song, hymns written for religious ceremonies. It is the poem The Moon Rises in the Book of Songs compares women as the shining moon for the first time in Chinese literature. That kind of chaste and untouched moon imagery became confirmed into verse and prose through centuries and had great influence on the poets from Tang and Song dynasty. I will read this poem in Chinese for you. 诗经月初，月出皎兮，皎人寥兮。疏咬鸠兮，劳心敲兮。月出皓兮，皎人柳兮。疏幽瘦兮，劳心草兮。月出照兮，皎人寥兮。疏腰少兮，劳心草兮。And James will read the English version for you.
Thank you. The moon rises. The moon shines bright, my love's Snow White. She looks so cute, can I be mute? The bright moon gleams, my dear love beams. Her face so fair, can I not care? The bright moon turns, with love she burns. Her hands so fine, can I not pine?
Actually, this poem was translated by Professor Xu Yuanchong.
Professor, could you tell us about the distinct features of this poem?
Yes, distinct features of the poem. First, the poem was written in 4 character lines, harmonious in rhythm, concise in style, and pleasant to read, like all other poems in the book sounds. For example, this sentence, 月出皎兮皎人寥兮. They are all 4 character sentences. Second, simplicity, the use of simple language and direct narration. For example, the moon rises, 月出皎兮. Third, the adoption of repetition as a means of expression. The fourth, using metaphors and imagery. The poet does not present his feelings directly. Instead, he expresses them through the description of the moon, or borrow an ordinary thing like moonlight with symbolic connections to speak his mind. Okay, that's the end of the episode 1. Thanks for watching. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.